if you have any questions or anything about that, as far as results, or if you want to go over material, the results of exams, obviously I'm be available to do so. Um, yes, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be expecting it to be your responsibility to do so if you have any concerns. I do ask, and actually this is, I believe, a community college requirement, that you must email me through the frederick.edu email account. So everything is on record. Please go ahead and do that. Um, that's the only way I can really reply to your questions or concerns or what have you. So, and again, I'll be, give me a 24 to 36 hour window to reply, and I'll do my best to maintain that standard on my end. Final grades, I'll be getting those into the registrar's office. That's a that's a must between myself and the registrar's office. So um, that's going to be that's what you can expect from me at the end of the semester. As far as dates of withdrawal or auditing the course or what have you, they're listed here for you to go over, kind of keep in the back of your mind if you need to pursue that course. Spitting any complaints or anything, first and foremost, again, let me stress and reiterate that please come talk to me. I'm not, I have certain academic standards as far as what I expect from students. Um, I am the product of a community college myself, so I know what that kind of what challenges students can face in navigating home, work, school, life balance. So um, I'll do my best to work with you as far as that's concerned. I will be kind of I'll be making comments and as I said, looking for improvement over time, and you know that is because I want you to get the best and the most out of your education here at Frederick Community College, but also specifically out of this course in world history. I think, as I mentioned in the excerpt um, early on in the syllabus, I mean that I, as you might expect, take the profession of history very seriously. World history, or we are living in a time in which world history is perhaps more prevalent now than ever, and so your ability to navigate that and appreciate the historical context of what you're experiencing, as you continue with your own lives, is just going to help you in the long run, as I see it. However, if there are complaints, please feel free to reach out to third parties as necessary. I've offered Dr. Wells's information here as a alternative or option. Um, let's see. Okay, so out of class work summary. This is page. Oh wait. Page. Looks like page 5. Top of page 5 of the syllabus. This is essentially what you can expect week to week, and the amount of time that you'll need to invest in fulfilling the various requirements for the course. So chapter reading, note taking on what you're reading in the again in the textbook, that is going to be rather time consuming. So be sure to devote that time that is needed. Again, it's going to vary a little bit on individual to individual. If you can read more quickly and kind of commit the material to memory, um, that's to your benefit. So for myself, sometimes I have to reread things just to make sure that I'm getting it down. Oftentimes, taking notes on what I'm reading is an excellent way to commit things to memory, and it's a quick reference guide as far as studying is concerned down the road. Instead of having to flip through the textbook and find material in a 500-page text, you have maybe 30, 40 pages of notes that is much more condensed. Maybe you can put down page number references to get right to the material you need to in the textbook if you need to refer to it in greater detail. Lecture and content instruction. Again, I believe there's a kind of a rough threshold of 150 minutes a week. I'll be trying to stick to that as best as I can, give or take a few minutes here and there. In weeks where there may be an exam that's coming up, or if there is we get into the holiday season, I will be adjusting content as much as possible to kind of reflect those realities. I can say that before every exam, I'll be giving a review session. Usually in class, I devote a whole class period to that. I think what I might do in this format is to either, well, I'll kind of cross that bridge when I come to it. But at this point, I'm thinking of basically kind of posting a video such as this, in which I basically go over kind of possible essay questions and material, and scope out some responses as far as what I'd be looking for, to give you a better idea as to how to approach the material and be prepared. And that kind of feeds into studying and preparing for exams. Oftentimes, I like to say that ideally, students should devote a certain amount of study every week to the material that's being covered. I realize that that's in an ideal world. So quite often, myself included, when I was in college, cramming for exams was the best, if not only, alternative. So I do offer that as an option here as far as work summary is concerned, because if you can devote an hour a week to just constantly keeping the material fresh in your mind, it's going to pay off in the long run. And of course, discussion and class participation. I believe that it should be with your requirement to answer 3 or 4 discussion questions a week, and to respond to discussion questions of others, that this would be roughly average out to about 90 minutes a week, hopefully. Again, these are all rough estimates, and they may vary from person to person and from week to week. As we kind of approach the end of the syllabus here, the course outline, I note here, the course outline and the assignment schedule is going to be able to be revised over the course of the semester. I will be making announcements and kind of constantly addressing any issues or making announcements for assignments in Blackboard. So again, it's in your interest to be on that site frequently, if not daily. So just to kind of give you a heads up here on week one, what we're doing essentially right now, you have this welcome, this introduction, kind of a course overview, what I'm covering now. You'll be reading chapters 15 and 16 in the Patterns of World History, and additionally there will be 2 hour long or roughly 1 hour long videos that you'll be responsible for viewing. I realize that the current version on Blackboard of this syllabus only has one of the 2, but I'll be uploading this later today to give you the latest version, this updated version. Again, it's these videos that are going to be cropping up. You won't be rather confident that you won't be responsible for viewing any more than 2 videos per week, and this is video content, so basically it is something you can see as often as you need or like to, and you can take notes on it as well. So what I like about the video content that I'm posting from third parties is that, first of all, it is from third parties. You are going to be able to get a different perspective or varied perspectives on historical content, which is vital to understanding history. At no point should you study history from one source. And in world history, it's best if you understand it from a variety of sources, not just the people or the individuals who experienced a particular event, but also those that are more removed from it, and not only from physical distance, but also over time as well. The in particular, the 2 main video series that I'm going to be including or relying on are Michael Wood's videos, in which he examines different civilizations, world civilizations, and also Niall Ferguson's series, The Ascent of Money. I'll be giving, with first and foremost, these 2 individuals in particular. They're both British, but I think that what they do is offer you kind of a broad bookend as far as approach to the study of history itself. So Michael Wood is more kind of and hopefully you get this just in kind of the flavor, the atmosphere of his content is more kind of philosophical. It is more humanist in its approach. Ferguson is more nuts and bolts. He's more kind of analytical as far as mathematics. He's an economic historian, which The Ascent of Money should kind of tip you off to that. And so these are the kind of, so it's a little more mechanical in its in his approach and Ferguson's approach to historical content. They're both rather good storytellers, which is hard to find among historians, but which hopefully will make the content more easy to kind of consume as you're trying to learn it. But also, I mean, with other key figures in history, you're going to be learning from a variety of sources. The more sources, the better. And that requires you to apply kind of your own critical thinking skills in order to apply varying weight and validity to certain arguments and so on. which feeds into my next point, which is a word on history itself. So history is it's a study of humanity in the written record, and it is one that is filled with inspiration. It is, but it is also something that can be very disturbing as well. This is key to appreciating the full spectrum of the human experience over the course of recorded history. So there may be arguments made, or there may be references made that may not, you know, be that may be difficult or disturbing. But this is what history is about. So oftentimes this is something that happens simultaneously. And to give you a direct example, this um, documentary on Zheng He, the Chinese explorer during the Ming Dynasty in the 13th century, or excuse me, in the 14th century, excuse me, 15th century, is really an early and perfect example of this. I mean, that he is the victim of some pretty horrific experiences, and yet he is remembered as one of an individual of great achievement, and kind of an inspiring figure by the end of his life. So if the hope is essentially that learning about history from a variety of sources gives you an appreciation of the human experience, that you can basically it helps increase the resolve, the appreciation of what people have endured in their own lives, in their own experiences, in their histories, which is, in the scope of world history, an experience that is something that is shared. That it would be difficult to point to a population that specific populations that hadn't endured some sort of hardship at various times. We'll be learning about that over the course of these coming weeks.